again on November 16th and is going to continue until December 6th. The Hopi tribe is also urging households to social distance, saying, quote, "The virus does not move, people move it. If people stop moving, the virus stops moving and dies."
Meanwhile, Pima County is promoting a voluntary curfew in hopes of slowing the spread of the virus. It will last until December 31st, after major holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Hanukkah. The county is asking residents to be home by 10 p.m. and to not leave their homes until 5 a.m. Again, this curfew is voluntary, not mandatory. According to Pima County's website, the suggested curfew went into effect after the county experienced its highest week of COVID cases, with over 2,500 infections.
There are ups and downs in every holiday season, and while many people enjoy the company of loved ones, others feel it causes them stress. Regardless, with Thanksgiving just 2 days away, the CDC is encouraging little to no family gatherings. So how is this going to affect our mental and physical health? According to a study by the European Society of Cardiology, not being able to see relatives for Thanksgiving and the winter holidays will actually increase the number of health issues. Research has found that social isolation can cause heart disease and high blood pressure. Early reports are expecting stress heart attacks to be more than doubled this year due to the new guidelines. Phoenix cardiologist Dr. Todd Hurst is urging people to stay safe and healthy, but he's also emphasizing the importance of staying connected.
That, you know, it may take effort, but to go out of the usual norms and find a way to make that connection, even when you can't be together physically like we always have been in the past, that's where sometimes technology can lead us down the wrong path. I think social media can lead people to feeling more isolated, but technology like Zoom, like other, texting, those kind of things, redoubling those efforts to stay connected to loved ones, I think that's critically important these days.
Dr. Hurst also encourages individuals to stay active, eat nutritious foods, and practice stress management to prevent these health issues from occurring during the pandemic.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, local food banks are in need of donations now more than ever before. What you can do to lend a helping hand to those in need this holiday season.
Plus, the airline industry is taking a dive in 2020 when sales are expected to soar again, coming up after the break.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love. Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here at Cronkite News, we have producers who craft shows that make an impact on our community. Our broadcasts allow students to be involved in all levels of production, from producing to directing. We are guided by highly respected professionals who mentor the journalists of tomorrow. From technical directing to teleprompting and beyond, our production crew works tirelessly to produce meaningful and award-winning shows. We are Cronkite News on Arizona PBS.
As the number of coronavirus cases in Arizona continues to climb, more and more school districts are returning to fully remote learning. The latest example is the Apache Junction United School District, which announced plans to remain online earlier this week. This decision came after an Apache Junction 5th grader tested positive for COVID-19. The switch to virtual classrooms will happen after the Thanksgiving break and will remain that way until at least January 18th. Apache Junction joins the Washington Elementary School District, who began online-only learning yesterday.
As the holidays approach during the pandemic, the state of Arizona has expanded funding for those who need it the most. Reporter Stephanie Rosales shares with us how this contribution is helping bring food to the table.
With Thanksgiving in just a few days and Christmas around the corner, Arizona has provided food banks with $1.6 million to help assist families in need. $600,000 will be going directly to expand St. Mary's food delivery service to seniors.
We were able to get an outside delivery service with that extra money to be able to reach families that we know we haven't been reaching during the pandemic because they're simply afraid to come to the food bank to get the food.
This contribution provided by the state is separate from the Thanksgiving meals St. Mary's will be giving to families.
They're providing over 12,000 Thanksgiving meals this coming Thanksgiving. And aside from that, they provide hundreds of thousands of meals every single year to families in need.
Due to the pandemic, St. Mary's Food Bank has lost around 80% of their volunteers that they would normally get, but some are still staying committed to their goal.
It's good to help out other people who are in need. So if I have the time, why not, go help other people?
They have also been able to get some extra hands through the Arizona National Guard, who have been volunteering since April of last year. Unfortunately, their assistance will end the first 2 weeks into December. Another community has had to look to St. Mary's to help feed their families, as there has been a spike in COVID cases. St. Mary's witnessed an 8-mile-long line from the Navajo Nation waiting to pick up their food, and while 1,200 boxes of food were delivered, not all families had the chance to receive one.
56 chapter houses on the Navajo Nation. We were working with 5 or 6 of them when the pandemic started. We're now working with 54 of the 56 chapters.
St. Mary's has set an all-time record of distributing on average 10 million pounds of food in a month. This is the most they've seen since 53 years ago, the day they opened their doors.
St. Mary's Food Bank has seen a spike in the demand for food since the start of the pandemic, jumping from serving 500 to 600 families in one single day, all the way up to 1,100 families. This number is looking to increase for the Thanksgiving holiday.
In order to follow CDC and health guidelines, St. Mary's is following a no-contact method, where cars are lined around the block waiting to pick up food. This allows families to feel safe by driving in with their cars, volunteers placing their food in their car, and cars driving off.
I think there are a lot of people that are out of work and can't afford to eat. So this is, at least for this time of year, this is providing meals to people that can't afford to get Thanksgiving meals on their own.
St. Mary's continues to gain support from the community through outside donations to help fulfill families' orders. Stephanie Rosales, Cronkite News.
St. Mary's will be closed for Thanksgiving and the day after, but they will be making turkey distributions the days leading up to the holiday. If you want to help out, you can donate at firstfoodbank.org.
Speaking of this holiday weekend, the Arizona DUI Task Force will be all business as usual. According to the state governor's office of highway safety, sobriety checkpoints will be set up across the valley as soon as Wednesday night. They'll be enforced every weekend for the remainder of 2020. Last year, the number of people arrested on suspicion of DUI in Arizona during Thanksgiving weekend was 330, down from 420 arrests the year before. Office Director Alberto Gutierrez says, quote, "We want everyone to enjoy the holiday festivities and to do so responsibly by having a designated driver, calling a friend, a ride service, or taking a taxi home."
The airline industry will lose $157 billion between this year and next year due to the COVID pandemic. According to an industry body, IATA, it's the biggest hit for airlines since World War II. The losses are worse than those sustained during the Great Financial Crisis and 9/11. IATA expects airlines to stop losing money in the fourth quarter of 2021. It says things should improve in the second half of the year as borders reopen and a vaccine becomes more widely available.
2 turkeys took a trip to D.C. to avoid being on a Thanksgiving platter. We'll tell you where they're headed next after the break.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing. Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
You know, they say that every dog has its day, but it's rare for a turkey to get his, especially in November. But 2 of the luckiest birds traveled to D.C. from Iowa to receive presidential pardons. The thankful birds were raised from day one to be the national Thanksgiving turkeys by 6th-generation farmer Ron Cardell and his wife, Susie.
For us and our family, it's a huge honor. We get to take our kids and our grandkids into the Rose Garden. We get to meet the president and his wife.
Pardon the turkeys in a Rose Garden ceremony, as presidents have done for decades. From D.C., the turkeys will make their way back to Iowa to live the rest of their lives on the Iowa State campus. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Although holiday celebrations will look different this year, what makes a holiday still remains. We'll break it down coming up next.
So Hannah, thank you so much for joining me today to break down the disruption that we're seeing in holiday traditions. You know, Dr. Anthony Fauci was among the first to say he wasn't even going to have an in-person Thanksgiving this year because it's simply not safe. And it's evidenced by the many gatherings that we've seen that it's just going to be a different year. We've had nearly a year of disrupted traditions and milestones, but the holiday traditions are really difficult. That's particularly poignant. And you're an expert in how traditions are formed. How do they come together and why are they so important?
Well, I think as with any time of disruption, whether it's natural, man-made, by definition, unanticipated, unplanned for, that's where we see, or one might say have an opportunity to sort of explore how some things that we've taken as givens about our lives, and that would include holidays, traditions, practices, customs, and so forth, how, if it doesn't sound too cynical to say so at this point, how they're really constructed.
Right.
They're constructed and they're made by us, our forebears, and as well as obviously, entities beyond ourselves. So institutions, entities that have some power. So at this time, I think maybe what many families, what many people, what each of us may be experiencing is a kind of a need to rethink, or perhaps resist in some cases, contest the way things have always been done in one's family, and consider, or at least ask some questions if one wants to do things differently than what was important before that one wants to sort of replicate, the kind of the core elements of a ritual. How
so it might be food, so in my family, it's all about the food. Right. It's all about like, we have to have this. And if we don't have this other thing, then it's not Thanksgiving, right? It's not.
Sure. And maybe as well as in your family and many others, food and with whom it's served, who makes it, to whom or with whom or around whom is it shared. And then that points to the dimension of relationships. So, eating alone is not always fun, but a lot of rituals involve relationships.
Make those connections virtually. What does make things a tradition? Just saying, hey, I've got a tradition. And what makes something special about that holiday? I don't eat pumpkin pie the rest of the year, but you really want it on Thanksgiving.
Well, behaviors that over time, coalesce, get repeated. Rituals have a kind of chronological component to them, institutions and other elements that contribute to our culture, also reinforce what we think of as perhaps was originally a practice of just a handful of people, but it then, goes beyond a particular arena and becomes, in our case, Thanksgiving, a national holiday.
Right. And you see these traditions, people forget that they weren't always there. Sometimes they were fads. And one of my favorites is Christmas trees really were a Queen Victoria, Prince Albert fad that extended to, beyond Germany, beyond Great Britain. What other kinds of examples do you see in history of?
It was, I think, maybe about a week ago, someone asked if I perhaps wanted to comment on what appears to be a new form of Advent calendar. One can now purchase Advent calendars that will, as one opens up each day leading up to Christmas Eve, perfume, baubles, as one journalist said, even socks, different types of socks, besides the usual chocolates and so forth. So that's one example. I might bring up the role of media. So in many sort of ritual practices or traditions, even pre-pandemic, when so much of our interaction happens through the mediation of Zoom and other technologies, communities, individuals, institutions have been sort of leveraging the media to find new ways to do rituals.
Right, something that's fun. Do you have a favorite tradition that you're adapting or a new one you're going to adopt?
That's a good question. I like to remain a little more opaque in that dimension, only in that I'm agnostic. With respect to ritual, like to embrace all, try all. I think within each of us, we have a certain comfort zone for maybe what we'd like to explore, whether it's in the dimension of food or what rituals do have also emotional sort of impact and sort of bodily sensations. There's a dimension of the sensory and the sensual in ritual. So clearly there's going to be parameters for people on what they want to experience, welcome, or perhaps are more hesitant. Yes.
Right. You know, it's, you know, some of the tips and tricks of creating a ritual, you know, you're saying it's like, it's timing. You're saying that it's, if you say it's a ritual, if you say it's a tradition, you can make it so, right?
Yes, I tell my students, you know, their morning sort of routine before coming to a Zoom class, it could be argued to be a ritual, but perhaps in a slightly more technical sense, because I don't want to sort of delimit anybody's understanding of ritual too intensely, but perhaps you need more than one person to sort of participate.
That's true. You find a friend and you share your pumpkin pie recipe.
Right. Or you go out for at the end of the week.
You start to make those into real things. So I hope that you and your family celebrate the holidays in whatever way is safe and healthy. And I really appreciate you joining us as we break down going into a very different time and how people are going to.
I wish the same for you and for all of your viewers. I mean, rituals are a time for people to really examine the relationships that mean something important to them. So however it's done, through whatever means, it's kind of an invitation to be creative.
Open to change and open to gratitude. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
This hour of local news is made possible by contributions from the Friends of PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you. If you have comments about Arizona PBS News, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Thank you.
There's never been a more important time to make sure facts and the truth are driving conversation. Washington Week is an island of civil discourse in a chaotic media environment. On Friday nights, we gather the best reporters in the nation to unpack what's really happening and have a conversation that's not about point of view.